Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Elevating Your Life with Paula Vail. I have just an amazing guest to share with you today. We have with us Kimberly Solari. She is an expert vibrational healing bowls sound therapist, Reiki Master Practitioner and teacher since 2001. She is also the architect and innovator of Stay on Key, an amazing, unique analytical assessment service that allows individuals and companies to perform at their best. And I have had a taste of this. It's amazing. Kimberly is also the author of a fantastic book, Your Health is Your Only Wellness, or Your Only Wealth. Excuse me, a book dedicated to her patients who have trusted her with their health and well-being, and it highlights her successful results. She's recommended by clients and patients. Her unique blends, treatments is healing powers of vibrational sound therapy, something I'm a big fan of, and this is amazing, with ancient technique of energy-based Reiki, which is just so fantastic. And this creates just a beautiful environment that heals and benefits the body and mind. Well, first off, Kimberly, welcome. I'm so excited.
Paula, thank you for inviting me on your show. I am so humbled and honored to be here, all the way from Berkshire, England.
Yes, I love it. I love it. It's so great to chat, from across the world. I loved your book so much. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
Well, first off, let's give the audience maybe a little more of your background and kind of what triggered you to become the practitioner and the author that you are.
Well, I think we're sort of born with special abilities, and it was something that really I sort of fell into. But I married a gentleman who is 19 years older than me. 3 years after we married, he had 2 silent heart attacks. And by the time they found out what had happened, he'd lost 75% of his heart muscle. And the doctors in the UK gave him 6 months to live. Luckily for my husband and I, the American company that he worked for got sold to Bull of France, and we moved to Paris, and we saw a wonderful cardiologist who said that, we are going to do something. So he had a triple bypass surgery, went straight back to work. We traveled the world internationally because that was his niche. And then in 2001, he had a stroke. I put him in the car. I drove him back to Paris. They gave him surgery. And then 4 years after that, he had cancer. Now, a lot of people have said to me, Kimberly, your husband's still alive today. He's 80 because of your healing. I didn't grow up in a family where my doctor or my mother were GPs or surgeons or anything like that, but I did know from a very young age that I was psychic. The first psychic connection I had was with a young boy who I found out years later was my mother and father's first child. I'm not accepting him as my brother because he had a brother that was 18 months younger than him. And the 4 siblings that came after this tragedy, we never knew about him. We didn't know his name. So I had that connection, went through school, left school profoundly dyslexic, went in to do apprenticeships. At 23 years of age, met my husband, and I moved to Michigan, just outside of Chicago, and got married. Didn't work in America because I hadn't got my green card yet. A couple of years later, we moved back to the UK. Then we moved to Paris, as I said. And then we then returned to the United States. And the last homes we had was on Hilton Head Island, South Carolina. And I moved back to the UK. And after my husband's stroke, he needed to have 10 injections in his tummy. And I said to my husband, oh, darling, tell the hospital to show you how to do it. I'm sure it's just like a diabetes injection. He said, no, they won't. But if you come to the hospital, I was with him, they will show you how to do it. So I was shown how to do injections, anti-clotting injections. On our return, I took all the spent needles to our GP, and they asked me if I would like to train as a phlebotomist. So I trained as a phlebotomist, and I went all the way up to management level. I managed the department. And then I left, and I had a calling to do something more holistic, because what I found being a phlebotomist is that women especially were coming in, repeating the same blood tests, and there was nothing wrong. So I thought there must be something else going on. So I was introduced to Reiki, and in the UK, the Reiki training is woeful. You can do it on a weekend at Glastonbury. You can go from 0 to master level and you don't know, anything. So I got attuned like that, like 99% of the Reiki practitioners out there over a weekend. And I felt that actually that wasn't enough. So with my husband still traveling internationally, I went to Japan with my husband, asked the concierge about Reiki, because I knew that my part of my training was due to Mikao Yusui, who was Japanese. And I got a little bit of instruction while I was there with my husband on a business trip, and basically came home and really did my own research. Yes. I then set up my own treatment room. And within a year and a half of that, I went into a shop to buy some incense. And towards the back of the shop, the guy was playing a healing bowl, and the hairs on the back of my neck stood up. And I went and spoke to him, and I bought a bowl for my husband for the throat chakra because he'd had a stroke. And I put it on the dining table, and I used to play it. And from my husband's office, he would say, stop playing that bloody noise. And I knew there must be something hitting his throat chakra that wasn't resonating with him. So from that one bowl, I now have 19. And from 2002, I then started introducing vibrational sound as a marriage to my Reiki treatments. And I was finding that cancer patients and other patients, their illnesses were reversing due to the fact that the only thing I was doing differently is putting their body on ki. Then I had to find out and research, I'm putting the body on ki, what does that mean? So I researched it, and obviously I found the Salvaggio scale within our body. And then I took it a little bit further, and I was beginning to appreciate that each vibrational healing bowl was talking to each other through the healing session. And that was extraordinary. And then when I introduced the clear onto the tummy, which talks about the client's emotional dis-ease, the rest of the bowls were talking to each other even more. So one note on the tummy would potentially be talking to the stomach area and the pancreas. And then another time I would play the vibrational bowl on the tummy, and that could be the heart, was putting the lungs and the heart and the kidneys off key. So the noise was like nails down a chalkboard, but over time, the symphony became like angels were singing in the treatment room. But every time they went for a scan and blood tests, their diagnosis was being reversed. So I did more and more research and came up with the stay on key concept, where if you keep your emotional dis-ease on key, you will never have a day of illness in your life. Because it's the dis-ease within your emotion that creates disease. Yes. There is no such thing as mental health. It's emotional ill health.
Yes.
Because when your emotion is in such a state of dis-ease, your behavior will change because you've got no way of getting that emotion out.
Yes.
So it's a behavioral change that your family notice, because there's no way for your emotion to be released. But there is by doing vibrational therapy with Reiki, because Reiki opens up the chakras, and then you can play the vibrational bowls around and on the patient, and it lifts out. It doesn't happen in one session, but over time it happens. And also what I do, because a lot of what we're talking about, Paula, is invisible to everybody. So I always take a chakra or a photograph after 8 hours of healing, and they have one on their first consultancy appointment. So every 8 hours, they can see the improvements.
Yes, yes.
But through blood tests, if they're cancer patients and end-of-life cancer patients, many of mine, their blood tests, their tumors all start to change, because, and it's not because I'm doing anything out of the ordinary, I'm encouraging their body to repair naturally through the Salvaggio scale and putting their body on key.
I love it. I love it. I am right there with you. Years ago, when I first bought my crystal bowls and started working that with my Reiki sessions, what I saw and felt, it's amazing, isn't it? And I did a lot of research on sound vibration. I mean, it's like it goes right through us. It resonates.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It resonates.
Because we are all a beautiful individual symphony and a musical instrument.
I love that. I love that. Oh,
and within families, you have a family who are all different musical instruments that are all off key. Now, if any of us have ever been to the theater or to a concert, what are the first thing that the band do or the orchestra do while we're all talking and catching up with our friends? They put their instruments on key. In some areas, we can call it warming them up, but actually they're putting their musical instruments on key. We are walking, talking musical instruments, and we're not even thinking about putting our instrument on key every day.
Yes.
Stop going to Starbucks, go and have vibrational sound healing, find out what musical instrument you are, and put that on key. And you will just smash the world. You will be the best you can. You'll be in the career that you want to be. More importantly, you will never have a day's illness in your life.
And the fact that you can help others with your stay on key assessment and service, that is so amazing. I'm just, and
absolutely. And
what you said was spot on.
And not only that, it would change people's life, because if you have a marriage that's going a little bit topsy-turvy, what musical instruments is the husband and wife? They're off key. So if they can tell me what their musical instrument is. Now, their musical instruments tells me what their personality is. What their musical instrument is made of tells me their emotion. And everyone has just got too much hemped up emotion. We're talking about climate change at the moment in Scotland, in Glasgow. We're not talking about the climate changes that we have trapped in our body. But there is a solution. Let's put all you beautiful musical instruments out there in the world on key, and let's find out what musical instrument you are and what is it made of. And we can mend every dispute. And if you have children, the mom and the dad want to know what musical instruments they have in their orchestra.
Yes, yes.
Are they in the string section? Are they in the windwood? Are they in the brass? Where are they? And if parents know and teachers know what instruments they have in front of them in a classroom, there won't be any bullying, Paula, because we're all musical instruments. How can you bully a musical instrument?
Yes, yes. Oh,
Because all we want to do is we want to be wonderful and on key.
yes, yes. And it was so amazing when we discussed, when I told you, okay, this is a musical instrument I am. This is what came to me. And you shared back information with me. It's like you've known me my whole life. You were so spot on.
Exactly. Exactly. It's extraordinary.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
How
And
fun that must be to help others with that. Oh my
well,
God.
and more importantly, Paula, this is, you know, and it's going to be a lot for people to get their head around, but it really takes away color, creed, what you're earning, what part of upside, downside, wherever you live. We're all musical instruments.
Yes, yes.
So there is no color difference or creed difference or anything else. We just want to make music with each other.
All our
And
own
when
unique
you
vibration.
put your body on key, you won't need to go to the doctors. You won't
Yes.
need. And what shocks me, you know, I'm new to TikTok. The amount of young people, men and women and children who are being diagnosed with cancer, it's a red flag, because more and more young people are being diagnosed with, you know, stage 4, stage 5 cancer. If you put your beautiful musical instrument on key, that shouldn't be happening.
Yes.
So yes, I know we need to save the planet, but I want to save your life.
Yes, yes. And in your book, Your Health is Your Only Wealth. Oh my gosh, you have so many amazing points and, you know, thought-inducing sentences and information. Oh my gosh, so many things. Something that you said in there that I loved was the importance of gifting our body silence. Tell us what you meant by that, Kimberly.
Well, the room that I do my treatments in is completely soundproofed. I do my treatment in candlelight. That they have a wonderful bed to lay on, because I'm sure with your clients, you have cancer clients who have lost a lot of weight, you have normal weighted people. You know, what they lay on is important. And when a client wakes up, yes, they talk about the extraordinary sound of their symphony, but they also say, Kimberly, to gift myself this moment to be silent and one with my inner self, that's also important and healing.
Yes, because in those moments, we're healing, aren't we?
Exactly.
And we just quiet.
And when a client hears the most awful ear-piercing off-key sounds coming from their body, and then over time, it sounds like there's a choir of angels singing, it's really emotional.
Yes, yes.
And they know that their body is repairing.
Yes, yes.
And I would really like pharmaceutical companies and real institutions to say, you know what, Reiki and vibrational sound needs a seat at the table.
Yes, yes. Insurance to cover that.
Exactly. I know that a lot of us haven't spent 5 to 7 years at Harvard or Yale learning anatomy, but we've spent 20 plus years with real human beings doing what we do, and we deserve the right to be at the table.
Yes, yes.
And this is what I want. Also, it would be wonderful if Netflix or Disney said, Kimberly, let's do a documentary Let's do a musical on Stay on Key. Let's have the children tell us what musical instruments they are and bring that into the curriculum at school. But more importantly, we need a seat at the table.
Yes.
With your 20 plus years of experience and my 20 plus years of experience, we've got 40 plus years between us.
Yes.
We're never invited at a table in corporations or hospitals or schools to help them change the climate of everything that's going on between bullying, illnesses. There is no mental health. It is emotional ill health. And we need to change the title. Our minds were designed to absorb information. They don't suddenly jump out of our body and wake us up and say, hey, pal, you're now going to have mental health. That doesn't happen. It's our emotional dis-ease that creates a change within our personality where people say, oh, he's now got mental health, or she's got mental health, or my child has got autism, or it's got this. No, your child, your husband, your colleague, your sister, your mother, your sister-in-law has got emotional dis-ease.
Yes.
I'm calling for us to have a seat at the table.
Yes, I love that. Yes, so many lives can be impacted.
Have been destroyed. I mean, the amount of young people who are committing suicide. Why are they doing that? Because they haven't got a door to get rid of their emotion. We can offer that.
Yes. Yes.
You know, we don't need to lose husbands and mums and brothers and sisters and colleagues.
Yes.
We need a seat at the table.
I
There needs to
agree.
be more documentaries done on the kind of work that we do about the alpha sonobiometric system of the body, the Salvagio scale, and really where is the ill health in our children and our adults? It's emotional. And let's not wrap it up and make it a standard mental health issue. It isn't. Our mind cannot create mental health issues, but our emotion can.
Yes. And our emotions, would you say, are a big part of our energy? And our energy tells our DNA what to do.
Exactly. When somebody comes to me with cancer, I know that has manifested probably 20 to 15 to 10 years before it actually turns into a growth. And that's emotional based.
Yes. Yes. So when we can work with clearing out and balancing and bringing that positive energy and love, it can make a difference. It can break down something before it even manifests.
Well, it wouldn't be there because we put our musical instrument on key. What I would love is your listeners, if they're picking up their children from school, ask them, if you were going to describe to me your personality as a musical instrument, what would it be? And then once they tell you that, give them a few minutes and then say, and what would your instrument be made of? And then make a note of that, send me an email, and I'll be able to help them really be able to navigate that beautiful instrument.
I love it. I love it. Please share with everyone your email address and your website, email, how they can get a book or a CD from you.
Absolutely. My email address is KYM-Solari, all one word, at AOL.com. My website is www.reiki-berkshire.co.uk. And I know you're going to put this on your blog, Paula, but if they just Google Kimberly Solari, I am personally on Facebook. I'm not active business-wise on Facebook. They could also, if they wanted to, go to stayonkey.co.uk if they wanted to. But really the best thing is to just send me over an email or find me on Facebook. I'm there, and my phone is never off, and I will answer your questions no matter what the time or day it is. The only time that I'm sort of on silent is when I'm treating.
Yes. Oh, I love it. I love it. And the fact that you've also, along with your book, created CDs.
Yes, I have.
Exciting.
I am the musician on those CDs, and it took many months. Paula, what I would do is I would leave my treatment room at 7 o'clock at night, pack all of my healing bowls into my car. I would drive to the studio, and I would have to play one bowl for hours to create the 3 healing CDs that I have. And I financed that myself, just like I did with my book. It was a 50-50 with a publisher, but it was important for me because it's important for your listeners to really appreciate that, yes, there are a place for big pharma, but actually, if you just step away from big pharma and listen to your symphony, we can put you on key.
Yes, I love it. You are so amazing. And I have to share a fun little crystal bowl story. Years ago, one of my clients who would come for Reiki, and you know, I would use my crystal bowls. Anyway, she fell in love with it. She is a teacher at a school for homeless children here. And I let her take the bowl and play it for her class. And those children loved it so much. I gifted her the bowl. Every morning before class begins, one of the students gets to play the bowl.
Marvelous.
Isn't that fun? Oh my gosh.
Because we're all born a musical instrument.
Yes.
And what we want to do is we want to go home to that resonance.
Oh, yes, it just, and I just so love how you pointed out we are each our own unique symphony, and that is something to celebrate.
Absolutely. But it's more important to celebrate it when it's on key, because when it's off key, it creates disease.
Yeah. Yes. Kimberly, thank you so much. Everyone, check out Kimberly Solari. Check out her website, her book, her CDs. I am just honored and thrilled to have met you, Kimberly. Love, hugs, and blessings.
And we will meet in person next year for sure.
Yes.
And reach out to me if you want me back.
Yes, I do. This is the beginning of a great connection. Everyone out there, love, hugs, and blessings. Have a fantastic day, and I celebrate each of you and your beautiful symphony. Thank you, everyone.
And a happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Yes, yes. Thank you, everyone.